Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. It's time for the most metal of episodes, the most metal of deep dives, and the most metal gaming conversations you've ever heard. If you can't tell, today we're covering Doom, the Dark Ages, perhaps the most metal Doom we've ever seen. Does it live up to its name, or is it on par with Doom Eternal, or perhaps even better? On today's episode, we're going to find out, but first, some introductions are in order. I am your host, Josh, and joining me, he's an aspiring slayer. Nope, wait, that's the difficulty level he played on. It's Ryan.
Oh, man, I was going to come in with like a rock ballad, like metal, yeah, and now I just feel so broken inside.
Glad I could crush your soul once again, Ryan.
That's fine.
And joining us, he would like us to address the practicality of a chainsaw shield and keep saying, I mean, how do you catch it, though? It's John.
As somebody who grew up as both a fan of Captain America and Warhammer 40,000, where chainswords are a very prominent piece of arsenal, I approve. I have no such questions at all. I just assume the thing works.
It works all right. That chainsaw shield is freaking sweet.
Oh, it's so good.
It's on my Christmas list for sure.
Oh, dude. We're going to get to that because I know that was a question a lot of people had is like, yeah, but the shield. Oh, we're going to talk about the shield. Guys, we're going to start this episode off with a quick question. One of our epic supporters, Darkside900, asked this question. This is a perk that we give to people that sign up to support this podcast under the epic tier. I love this question, dude, because it's going to give me a chance to nerd out. People have heard me talk about the answer on this before. But the question is, what are some of your favorite gaming controllers or accessories of all time?
Ooh.
The gaming controller debate is one that has been going on for a long time, man.
It's a silly debate because it's very, very simple. The accessories is a whole nother ball game, but controller, PS5 DualSense, it's the best controller ever made.
It's a dang good controller, man.
Yeah.
It is a dang good controller. I have nostalgic choices. I was a big Dreamcast fan, and there was a lot of novelty involved with that, and the virtual memory cards with the little game built into it. Like, I don't know if you remember that, but the Dreamcast had like a little Game Boy sort of built into the memory card.
Okay, I was going to ask you, because I had a friend that had a Dreamcast, but I never like played it that often. Is that what that little like spot in the middle of the controller was? That little kind of...
Well, yeah, there's like literally a little LCD screen, and then like a D-pad and a A/B button. I mean, it was like a teeny tiny little Game Boy. There was like maybe 2 or 3 like actual little games that worked for it. It was totally gimmicky, but cool. And then I loved that old clunky first gen Xbox controller too, the one that was like brick. Yeah, but PS5 is the correct choice.
It is the correct answer. I don't even own a PS5, but I like when I borrowed yours, Ryan, there is just something about that controller, man, where it just works so good. It like the ergonomics of it, the freaking speaker that just adds that layer of sound to it, the haptic triggers.
The touchpad. Now, I will say 360 was better than the PS3. But after that, like then the DualSense, and the PS5 controller is just there's nothing like it. Like they finally made it a little bit bigger and the thumbsticks a little bit higher up so that it was a little bit better and ergonomic, for your grown up hands, not little teeny baby hands. So
I still use an Xbox controller, like for my PC, if I'm playing Rocket League or any other controller game.
It's a solid controller.
Oh, for sure.
All in my opinion, all of the current gen controllers are great. Like the Switch Pro controller is fantastic. The Xbox controller is fantastic. Obviously, the PS5 controller is fantastic. Controllers have come a long way.
Accessories, I'm gonna say my Razer Tartarus gaming keypad.
Oh,
you guys
gosh.
know I love this thing, dude. Once you go, it allows every game to play the same. I rebind every key. This is the joke. Is somebody will say, "What's the key to like change this?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dude." Because the very first thing I do is just go into a game and change all the key binds to match this.
For me, it's the pi sign. I don't know what you guys use.
It's the best $80 I think I have ever spent. I don't even use my keyboard, dude. I use my keyboard to type, and that is it.
Yeah.
This gaming keypad does everything I need it to do. every game is always the same. I don't have to relearn the muscle memory or what E does or what Q does this time or something like that. I cannot recommend it enough. If mine broke, I would literally run to the store tonight to buy another one instantaneously because I cannot live without it. So
pretty solid.
Right. I actually have a little plug for us here. If anybody's curious about products that we really love, like the peripheral that Josh was just mentioning, on videogamerspod.com, we actually have a recommended products page now that you can go check out. It's got affiliate links. You know, we're not hiding that. So we make a small, like literally a 2% kickback, and all that goes back into the production of the show. But if you're curious about devices, products that we like, just, you know, feel free to hop on there, and anything else, just ask us on the Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, it's time to talk about some Doom. Darkside900, thank you for the awesome question, by the way. If you want to ask us a question, you can sign up over, the link is in the episode description. You can sign up. That is an awesome perk for people that support the show under the Epic tier there. I cannot wait to talk about this game, dude. I'm a huge fan of Doom. I have made no qualms about that. I don't know that I played every single Doom game that's ever been made, but I have absolutely played this series throughout my lifetime. I know you guys have played it. And you know, we have been playing the heck out of Doom: The Dark Ages. We were all very excited for this one. It kind of came at an interesting time because, you know, I mean, you know, we're still fresh off the heels of Expedition 33. We have people daily that join our Discord server that are like, dude, I just started this game. I'm in Act 1. You know, this has been just taking over the gaming world. People love talking about it. I love seeing it. It never gets old to hear people be like, yeah, I'm in Act 1. And then we're like, oh, man, like, you're in for a ride. But Doom came out a few weeks later, and like, was this the most perfect timing for a palate cleanser type game like Doom: The Dark Ages after this insanely epic, heartfelt, intense perfection of a role-playing game? And then it's like, okay, nothing can follow that up, guys.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It was the exact palate cleanser is the perfect word for it. When I got done with Expedition 33, naturally I was like, what's another game like this that I can enjoy? But the reality is I wouldn't have been able to enjoy whatever that is. I mean, Expedition 33 for me was like the perfect game, and anything else would have just felt, you know, substandard. So this was the exact right timing for a game like this to come out.
Yeah, Ryan, I just remember you saying, like, dude, I think you literally said this game could not have come at a more perfect time for me.
Oh, for sure. Especially after, I mean, everybody knows I'm not the big turn-based guy. I recognize how amazing Expedition 33 was, but I was like, heck yeah, dude, I am ready to just rip and tear. Let's just melt faces, double bass drum, and just go at it. Like, it was exactly what I needed.
I love that. I think Ryan's first message to me after he booted up The Dark Ages was, dude, I feel like I need to run through a wall right now.
And you literally do. Like, yeah! And it's amazing.
So, okay, and just to clarify, neither one of you have played Doom Eternal. Is that correct?
No.
Correct. I have not.
Okay.
No.
Oh, let me ask, did you guys beat this? Did you guys beat The Dark Ages?
I am on stage 18 out of 22. I plan on beating it either later tonight or tomorrow, to be honest.
I beat it this morning.
Yeah, like, nice.
This is a game where I know I don't beat a lot of games. There's a lot of people out there that know I get gamer ADD, and then I just move on to the next one. But this one I will absolutely wind up finishing because I'm still just having fun with it.
It's just too enjoyable not to finish because you just want to keep, you know, continue on with just this, like, oh, this is great. Oh, this is great. And you just keep like loading it up and doing another one. So yeah, this will be one of the few that I'm sure Josh finishes finally.
Yeah, it will. So the reason that I bring up the Doom Eternal question is the natural question that I see from most people is, how does it compare to Doom Eternal? If you have played Doom Eternal, you know how good that game is. You guys have heard me sing its praises many times on the show. Even in the trailers and the kind of developer breakdowns and things that we got to see leading up to the release of this game, they said, hey, in Doom Eternal, you know, you're a fighter jet, you're flying around, you're double jumping, you're grapple hooking. And Doom: The Dark Ages, we wanted to do something different. Our theme for this game is stand and fight. And It's like, ooh, that gave me chills. I can still hear them saying it, and so I can give my opinion on how it compares to Doom Eternal. I just wanted to, verify that you guys didn't get to play that one, so you don't have that comparison. You're judging this on its own merits without comparing it to Doom Eternal.
Josh, I would actually love to hear your comparison. I would love
right
to
now.
Hear, yeah, I would love to, because I have some thoughts on just sort of my whole experience with this, but what your impression is on this game compared to Doom Eternal will help to inform some of my opinions.
I'll just spill the beans then. I prefer Doom Eternal. You guys know, if we're playing a game and I can be a rogue and the fast guy that's zipping around, that's who I want to play. Ryan, Marvel Rivals, my main is Psylocke. I want to be fast. I want to be quick. I want to be stealthy. I want those movement skills. I want to outplay, the people or the game and things like that. So I have always preferred the speed that characters and games like that give me. So I don't think that Doom: The Dark Ages is as good as Doom Eternal. I do think it's about 80% as good as Doom Eternal. So for me, that's still saying an awful lot. But if you had to say, Josh, which one do you prefer? I am going to say I prefer Doom Eternal. I love the fast-paced movement mechanics in that game. There's a couple other nitpicks that I'll have that we'll get into with Doom: The Dark Ages, but it definitely, here's the main thing. It doesn't feel slow. Like, that was the main thing that I thought a lot of people were concerned about, was this whole stand and fight. You're this tank. You've got this shield. You're not supposed to be jumping and running around and stuff like that. And I kind of went, is this going to be like really slow gameplay? It ain't slow, people. If that's what you're worried about, I can tell you right now, it's not slow. The shield bash, you have to stay mobile. Like, the parrying mechanic keeps you constantly looking around you. So it does not feel slow, but Doom Eternal just hits different, man. And I vastly prefer it over Doom: The Dark Ages from that sense of like, I want to feel like I'm zipping around, man. Like, I like that movement.
So, Ryan, what was your, if you could just give an opening impression about how you enjoyed the game?
So, when I typically, like, my most often play style that I enjoy is I just love to face tank. I love to run in and just be so strong and powerful and just smash everything in front of me. Which is wild, because on like MMOs, I was always a mage. I was a glass cannon. I love to sit back and just blow everything up. But in these styles of games, like I love the ability to just bash through everything. Again, run through walls, and I love this game did such a good job of making you feel so strong and powerful without making your enemies feel weak. So, like, I was running through there. I may have not, like, you still feel quick because you have your shield bash. You can jump across the map. I used it so much. That was the first thing I upgraded. We'll get into the upgrades and stuff like that, but that was first what I went through, and the melee, and I was just messing with everything. I've tried all the different, like, difficulty levels, so I'm kind of knowledgeable on every aspect of how you could play this game as well. So, yeah, to me, this was my style of a Doom game. I probably, if I was to play Eternal and then play this, I think I would like this more just based on what I enjoy. But yeah, man, it's not slow, but you are a just absolute tank.
You feel like a juggernaut.
Yes, that is the perfect phrase for it. So I agree with both of what. So certainly, stand and fight. I hadn't heard that like phrase for this. But that very, very well captures the nature of this game. I mean, you are a juggernaut. You are the definition of a tank. Ryan got it right. You are mega powerful without making the enemies feel weak. I mean, it feels like there's a real threat there. It's just like, man, you're Doomslayer and you're in there just crushing stuff. Like, you are a force of nature. And that was really cool. But I will say, as much as I appreciated this game for being a palate cleanser, because it's just a wholly different experience than Expedition 33 was, I felt like I kind of got what this game was all about by like chapter 6. And then I honestly like forced myself to get through the game because I thought you guys would have been coming to the table having beaten it, and I didn't want to be the one guy who didn't beat it.
We tricked you.
That's your Since when do you know me to beat games?
Well, I just assumed because you guys like spoke so highly about it, like, you know, in offline communications and stuff like that. But the reason I wanted to know your impression of this, Josh, was like, unless this is altogether a different experience, like completely different experience from Doom Eternal, I don't think I need to play any other Doom games. Like I think that this was like, for me, the definition of like a, oh, that was cool. And now I can get back to more substantial gaming experiences.
Dude, I think that is honestly a fantastic take because, and Ryan, I'm going to throw this to you because one of the things that you said early on when we were talking about it was, I feel like I'm playing an arcade game again.
Yeah.
Like that was literally the statement you made. And it clicked with me instantaneously. John's nodding his head too, because this is not a story-driven game. This is like at all. Like, I mean, there is some characters and you know, they're trying to set up some reason for you to be slaughtering the hordes.
You could summarize the story of this game on a napkin with a crayon, bro.
It's 3 words. There's a 3-word summary. It's called rip and tear.
There you
That's
go.
the 3 words, man.
I love it.
Yeah. But I think that is absolutely the heart of Doom. You know, and Ryan, you said it. You said, dude, I feel like I'm playing an arcade game again. And we don't get to do that very often.
No, we don't. And to me, like, especially like we talked about after playing Expedition 33 and stuff, it was just fun. Like I you know, those games that make you just like, I've said it with other games that we've played where you just go, you know, and you chuckle to yourself or you laugh or you go, oh man, you know, and it makes you feel that you feel the power. Like you feel how strong you are. And that's enjoyable. Like as simple as the game is, as easy as it is to play, you know, and then there's parts that aren't as easy if you up the difficulty and stuff, but like it just makes you happy. It is fun. It is enjoyable. You rip and tear, blow stuff up, and you can run through. And it had that arcade feel where just stuff was flying everywhere. Fire was all over the place. You were bashing through everything, and you just kept going. And man, to me, I had such an amazing time playing this game.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm with you. Like, I mean, I have had just a blast. Everybody that has listened to the show for a while knows I love chaos. I love 100 things going on the screen at once. I like difficulty. I am playing on nightmare level. I die a lot. It is difficult, you know. But I thrive on that challenge of like beating this fight or beating this level or something like that. But John, I 100%, dude. I can absolutely see how it's like, this is just kind of more of the same at this point. You know, is level 18 really any different than level 7 was?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, man. Like, honestly, I don't think that that's a weird take at all.
No, it's not. But also, John, you love cake. Is more cake always, you know, a bad thing? Like you're like, oh, you know, this is the same cake as before, but
more cake is never a bad thing.
It's still pretty good, you know, like it's
See, that's a really good question. So if we're talking like Costco sheet cake, I would be like, there's a limit to it. You know, if we're talking like Brooklyn blackout cake or like a really good New York cheesecake, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'd probably eat that until I was in the hospital or something. Like you'd have to pump my stomach because I wouldn't be able to stop myself. Yeah, this game was really interesting. So, you know me, I'm a way more probably casual gamer than either you guys do. I'm very much a story-driven gamer. Story drives my gaming experience. And so this didn't have that, but it definitely did have that arcade feel. Like it felt like Area 51 or something where it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm in the action, like, oh, go. About 6 chapters in, I was like, this is kind of easy. And I was like, it's the first time I remember getting to a game where I was like, I should up I never increased the difficulty.
Aw, John's growing up,
Oh,
Ryan.
look at him.
Look at he's getting better.
I didn't, by the way.
Ah.
The last game I increased the difficulty on was like Halo 3, I think. But
yeah.
But I was like, maybe I should increase the difficulty on this. And then I got through probably like chapter 8, 9, and I started to feel like this is kind of gratuitous. Like the levels all kind of look the same. The enemies all kind of look the same. There's a very distinct pattern that every single enemy has to beat it. I didn't feel like there was enough difference in, like, I'll be curious to hear your guys' take on this, but I basically used the same 2 weapons through the whole game. Like there was like no point for me to change the weapons. Like,
oh really?
The plasma, the
accelerator,
the cycler, the cycler.
Cycler's great.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it was like my catch-all, and then I ended up using the pulverizer a lot because it just kind of looked cool or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I didn't need any of the other ones. You know, it was like this is fine. These seem to do everything. Like there's no reason for me to change. And so like I went from chapter 6 going like I should up the difficulty to chapter 8, 9 going like, maybe I should just reduce the difficulty so I can get through this quicker. I ended up like keeping it the same because again, I didn't want to come to this conversation and feel like a jerk. But but yeah, I don't know. Like this is a really good, fun popcorn movie that I probably won't remember well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. You know, I mean, I think number one that Doom has always been a very simple, action-based, not like mechanically difficult. You know, there's like 5 keybinds, man.
Yeah,
it's like forward, back, left, right, smash. You know, shield. And change weapons.
Like you said, rip and tear.
That's what you do,
rip and tear.
Simplicity to it
yeah.
that I think is actually kind of comforting in a way. So let's get into some of the game, but I don't think your take is honestly that weird, John. Like I was playing the other night, like in all honesty, I was playing the other night. I was on this level and I kind of went, I'm a little like, I've kind of done this, man. Like I'm a little bored right now. Like I think I'd rather go play like Rivals with some friends or something like that. But then I played last night and I made it to a new part and I was like, oh yeah, this is great, man. Just slaughtering demons left and right. And it's getting harder because they're throwing more of the big demons at me. So it's like, now I've got to manage, like, which one do I take out first? Like that guy's the most dangerous, but if I go after him, I'm going to get flanked and these guys are going to kill me. And so there's a lot of like that involved as well. So but I get it. So let's do this. So for people that are not familiar with Doom: The Dark Ages, you know, this is the prequel, which I think is kind of cool, to the 2016 Doom reboot. Now everybody's heard of Doom. You can play it on your refrigerator, pregnancy test, pager, whatever. You know what I mean? Like these are all legitimate things, dude. I'm not making these up. Like I've seen Doom on a pregnancy test. Like this is actually a thing.
That's so funny.
So but then they rebooted the franchise back in 2016. They kind of brought it into modern gaming, and you know, a lot of people that loved Doom way back in the day, myself included, instantly went, "Oh yeah, dude,
yep.
Like Doom." So we got the Doom reboot, we got Doom Eternal, we got Doom: The Dark Ages. I think maybe there was another side shoot or something in there somewhere. But the premise of Doom: The Dark Ages is literally Doom: The Dark Ages, where it's medieval. This is before all of the happenings in Doom Eternal and stuff like that. So your dude, like, you've got armor, you've got a shield, you've got a flail, and that flail is awesome, by the way.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my goodness. The flail is so good.
Yeah.
You know, but that is the premise of this game. So when you get into it, if you have played Doom Eternal like I have, Doom Eternal is much more futuristic in the sense of like the weapons that you get and kind of the play style of the game as well. But that's kind of the setting, is that it is meant to feel like you are not as technologically advanced. It is meant to feel like it is before a lot of the happenings in Doom Eternal. And I'm just gonna, before we get into like some of the monsters and levels and guns and stuff, I got a question for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything more satisfying than the landing sound of Doom Guy in Doom the Dark Ages when you jump off a ledge and you hit the ground, dude?
Oh, it's so cool.
That might be my favorite part of the whole game, man.
It is so cool. Again, it captures power, man. I mean, like, you feel so power. I'm like you, Ryan. Like, in games where you get to choose a class, I usually choose the tank. And like when I was growing up and thinking of myself as like a superhero or a WWF wrestler, it was Ultimate Warrior as a wrestler. It was Colossus or Juggernaut as a superhero. Like this captured that for sure. You felt unstoppable as a Slayer for sure.
Yeah, just the feel of it. Audibly, you just hear doo, 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 as you're running, and then you land. And even when you just land by other enemies, if they're just weak enemies or ads, they go flying. They die just from you landing,
them, dude.
Yeah, dude, you land down and then they go boom, and they go, and you're like, haha, yeah, and then you just run off to the bigger one, you know, and you're gonna go kill the other guy. But they did such a good job on, and I know we say this a lot, and especially me, but the weight of your character, the
it is
feeling,
glorious, dude.
Everything you do has weight and purpose and meaning, and it just, your shield bashes, like your charges, your jumps, like everything about it, it just, you could feel it all. And so there's definitely like that was just one of the best feelings for sure.
The way that they made this game convey your power in that weight is unlike any other game, dude. I'm telling you, man, I can hear the sound landing. I get amped every time. I will intentionally try to climb up to a higher ledge so that I can jump off and just freaking shockwave smash everything, because it's just so satisfying.
The ground will respond too. You'll get it to where certain areas will just like splinter up, because you landed heavy. Like, so it's responsive as well, like visually.
Dude, this game is, and I mean, honestly, the whole franchise, but I think this game really heightens it. It is just visceral, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I talk about liking Doom or preferring Doom Eternal, where you're the fighter jet and that stuff, and the movement in that game is spectacular. But dude, the feeling of just being this tank, this absolutely bad mofo, dude. You know what I mean? That is not shying away from anything, and you're just shield bashing your way into a horde of guys, smashing things with your flail. Like, all of it just feels like the impact, dude. Even the gun sounds, like the shotgun. I mean, a point blank double shotty to one of these beasts is the most satisfying sound ever.
Yeah. Yeah, the what John was talking about with the grinder gun or whatever. Yeah, the with it's just got, and it's got like little pistons on the side, like it's like just chambering like an old diesel engine. It's like blah, 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 and you're just and you're just chopping up bones and shooting them at the enemies, like just the most ridiculous things that you can come up with in a boardroom meeting. And then they're just like, yeah, let's make that, and then they actually did it, which was awesome.
Yeah, see, I have a kind of different opinion on that. Like the pulverizer, the skull crusher guns, that were featured prominently in the advertising and stuff. They look really cool, but like I actually didn't feel that any of the guns really had kind of their own personality, man.
Oh no,
like
you didn't use the right guns.
Well, no, I'm the only person in this group who beat the game. I tried them all
on
and
super easy.
No, not on regular. I played it on regular difficulty.
We were on nightmare, bro.
Okay, fair enough. But like still, like
I'm giving you a hard time.
Well, like this felt, I loved Space Marine 2, by the way. I want to give that as a qualifier. But there were a lot of guns in that game that just felt the same. Like there's lots of bolter variants.
My main complaint with Space Marine 2 was the guns.
Lots of variants of the bolter variants that just kind of felt the same. And then on the other side of that, you have like your Halos, where you've got a lot of kind of the same category of gun. Like you have your pulse rifle and you've got some of the other things, but like they all feel like they've got this specific place. Yeah. And I never got that from this. Like the game, I'll be honest, man, like short of the double barrel shotgun or the super shotgun, whatever they call it, which did have a very satisfying punch to it, I kind of felt like the other guns were a little weightless to me. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, I legitimately, like, Ryan picks on you about the difficulty level, but I think the difficulty actually matters when it comes to the guns in the gameplay, because I'm with you. The Cycler is my default go-to gun. It will mow down all of the little guys. I got some upgrades to it that can shock the bigger guys and the chain lightning and stuff like that, which is great.
Yeah.
But on Nightmare mode, especially with the heavily armored creatures, like, I have to take a different tactic, because I need to break their armor as fast as I can and try to take them out as fast as I can, so that I'm not getting flanked and wrecked by 4 higher level demons that are all coming after me. Dude, if we're talking about guns, let's just talk about guns, because the chain shot.
Yes!
Yes! Oh my gosh, I freaking love the chain shot, dude. So the chain shot whips out a freaking cannonball, basically. Yeah. It's just a giant steel ball on a chain, and this gun launches this thing out at like Mach 3. You can charge it up to get it like even more powerful hit on it. Dude, the chain shot and watching that thing just shoot out, hit a demon, and then ricochet off, the little chain goes slack, and that demon just staggers backwards is the greatest thing ever, man.
Or blows up. Just blows into a million pieces. One thing I think this game did very well is, as you progress, you go to these areas and you do this activity or this mission stuff, and then boom, there's like a cylinder there, and you can unlock another gun. You open it, you've got far enough, your progression is there, and you unlock this gun. You get it, it gives you a prompt, it tells you how to use the item and what it's gonna entail, and then they throw enemies at you that you can use that weapon, accordingly. But that chain shot, once I got that, so I had a hard time breaking off of it, even to my detriment. Like, I should use another gun here, but I have so much fun with this thing. Like, I don't want to switch. I'm like charging, strafing to the side, and then trying to line up shots that I could have easily taken a guy out with a different gun. But like, it was just so much fun that man, I freaking loved it.
Dude. Well, we'll get into some of the upgrades too for some of these weapons, but it's like you can upgrade things too. So the chain shot fully upgraded is just an absolute beast. The way I approached it, and John, I get it. Like, honestly, like, I kind of almost had to at one point in the game make myself use some of the other weapons.
Yeah, I did several times.
It is a valid point, to be honest, because it's like, once you get the Cycler, it's like that takes out most things, and then I just run up with the super shoddy, couple shots at most, and boom, they're dead.
Yeah.
I will say that varying up the gameplay a little bit really enhanced it for me. But again, playing on harder difficulty kind of forces you into some of that too. Because if I just run up with the super shoddy, I'm going to get 2-shotted. Like, I can shoot them, but they're just going to kill me right back at the same time, kind of thing. So I approached the game where it is, okay, what is the level of this demon, right? Like, if it's a higher level demon, I need to kill this thing quick, and that's where the chain shot and the super shoddy combo came in to just absolutely wreck these giant creatures. The Cycler, and honestly, even just the basic shoddy for me were a really good way to just take out a lot of the smaller trash mobs, which can be dangerous because if they flank you and they're shooting at you, especially on Nightmare level, you're gonna die quick, even to the trash guys at that point, But I approached it in these are my like heavy tank killers, and that's the chain shot, the super shoddy, and the rocket launcher. Here's my fast, nimble guys that it's hard to, I can't land a rocket launcher shot on these demons that are zipping around and flying through the air. So for me, that's like where, the Cycler or just the regular shoddy hit. I mean, let's be honest, there's few things in life as satisfying as throwing the chainsaw shield into a creature and then having it stun them while it spins around, and then just going point blank with the freaking super shoddy and then just being like,
yeah.
I will tell you, the chain shield for sure is like that tickled all of my happy childhood stuff. Like, between Captain America and 40K, I was like, I must have this thing. It's so cool. But so I'm curious, like, again, I didn't play at a higher difficulty level. I only played at normal difficulty level. But I felt like there was kind of like a basic arithmetic. Why I ended up sticking with the Cycler, basically, was that you have an assortment of enemy types, and they will either have shields or armor, right? If they have an energy shield and you shoot them with a cycler, you start a chain reaction where they all blow each other up, which is great. If they have a shield, you shoot them with a cycler, and that seemed, at least from my play, to be the most efficient weapon at overheating it so that you could hit it with your shield and then break it, and it broke a chain. For your bigger enemies, if you hit them with the chain shield first, it would stun them, and then you could just keep zapping them with the cycler and then also strafe off all of the lower end enemies without having to worry about changing your gun. And then for the bigger enemies that were armored, again, it seemed that the cycler was the most efficient at overheating their armor. So you go cycler, overheat, chain shield, which breaks their armor off, and then chain shield again to stun them so they can't shoot you, and then cycler till they die. There was like a very basic algorithm that about halfway through the game, I was like, even though I was standard difficulty, like unless the entire dynamic of all of the game, the weapons change based on their difficulty, I just was like, this seems to be the, like on paper, the most efficient way to deal with basically everything in the game.
Yeah. And so let me jump in, Josh, with this, because like the cycler is the accelerator of the plasma gun, right?
Yes, it is the second alteration of the plasma gun, the double barrel one.
The double barrel, perfect. So I actually have exactly the same experience as you, John. So I played at least one chapter with every difficulty. I played mostly in Nightmare, but I played every difficulty one chapter to see what the difference would be. When I played on the base and then like the next level up, all I used was the cycler because of the reasons you described. You could run through, it would just pump through everything, and you were virtually invincible. You could run through and destroy everything. And so I know exactly what you're talking about because I fell into it. Like I was using different weapons, and I'm like, oh, this just works perfectly. I can destroy everything. I can break shields. I can get everything done that I need to do with this one weapon. And because I'm on this difficulty, I have enough ammo around that I'm not running out, and I have to switch to something else. So I think the difficulty level does lend itself to using different types of guns based on the different enemies you have when you get into that higher level, because like you said, the cycler was easy. You killed everything, you broke everything. But the higher end, dude, it is a whole nother ball game.
But not just because you're running out of ammo, because I feel like that's a cheesy, like I don't want to.
No, running out of ammo is actually something that doesn't happen in this game very often.
Not too often. You can usually find a lot, but you're running out of ammo, you're running out of health, and then also certain enemies, they're just way too tough, and you have to use something heavier, something like with a little bit more meat to it, like the blast cannon or the grenade launcher or whatever it may be, to really break down that shield, because the cycler is not going to do it. It's just like bouncing off of them. And you'll be blocking shields and rebounding and doing all that stuff all day long if you don't switch to something that is targeted towards that enemy.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, to be fair, John, I saw this in some of like the previews before the game release. We got some people that they got access to previews and stuff, and one of the complaints that I saw was, hey, in Doom Eternal, you are forced to use a variety of weapons to survive, especially with the enemy types that they throw at you in Doom Eternal. They had the exact same complaint. While the weapon design is neat and there is a variety of weapons, I just don't feel compelled to use any more than like 2 of them. Yeah. And so I think that could legitimately be an inherent flaw in the game and in some of like the combat, maybe at the easier levels. I will say that for me at Nightmare, my priority was absolutely kill these tougher demons as fast.
Survive.
I have to kill them as fast as possible so that I can survive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the way to do that was with the chain shot, with the super shoddy, parrying an attack, which then would instantly power up the chain shot because I had that upgrade, which would then, hit that guy like a ton of bricks, and then just try to get this guy dead as fast as humanly possible so that I could then go focus on this guy and hopefully burn him down before that guy behind me wrecked me, in the like 15 seconds that I had, kind of thing. So I do think that is a valid complaint on this, is that, you were not forced into a variety of weapons like you were with Doom Eternal.
I naturally fell into the exact same thing as John, so I think that's probably something that a lot of people did.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break, and then I want to talk about some of the different levels. I want to talk about the dragon. I want to talk about the Atlands, because this is stuff that they showed off, and I think absolutely bears bringing up. So
we have to talk about character design too.
All right, that's fine with me. Yeah. So, all right, we'll be right back after this break. All right, we're back. Man, so just a very quick thing, because I know there's people that are going to be like, you guys didn't talk about all the guns. There are a variety of guns. I want to say there's 6 different guns, 7 different, something like that. But then you get a variation on each type. So when you get the rocket launcher, you get the grenade launcher that falls into that category. We've been talking about the plasma gun, the cycler versus the accelerator. One is almost like a pistol. The other one is like a machine gun kind of thing. So you have these classes of weapons that you get and you unlock throughout the game. Each weapon also has upgrade paths that really kind of changed the way that the weapon can behave.
Progression, Josh. Progression.
I love it. And that's the point. That was my point with the chain shot, is I amped that thing up to where as soon as I parried an attack, it was fully charged. So I didn't have to take that time to hold it and charge it up. It was just an instant fly out and wreck guys,
Boom!
We have to talk about the shield real quick. I said we were moving on to the level design, but man, the shield is the main thing in this game, right? This is what they were selling. This is kind of the premise behind your guy and why you can be this juggernaut. The shield is great, dude. Oh my goodness, man. I mean, you have to block with it. It can only sustain so much damage before you can't use it for a little while. And if your shield is down, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
But you do get the ability, it doesn't start as the chainsaw shield. It's just a normal shield. And then I was like, what the heck is this, man? Where's my chainsaw? But again, the game throws constant kind of upgrades and progression at you through the levels. The shield allows you to block. It allows you to parry, which is super important in this game, where, green little light blobs or attacks fly out. And if you parry them, they get reflected back and then wreck the monster that slung them out at you. You can shield charge, which means you can smash things. That has an incredible range on this thing.
Oh, it's so good.
Were you surprised by the range on this shield charge?
I was playing controller, so I'd drop down left trigger and I'd just be running at a guy. And then once I see that little red circle, boom! I'd jump across the whole map and just smash them and blow up everything. I loved it.
Yeah, so the shield is fantastic. It plays a large role in the game. It also helps you solve puzzles. You have to throw the shield into things.
Yep.
You can stun monsters with the shield, which is super satisfying as well. Not everything can be stunned, so when you're fighting that big, strong demon, the shield's just going to bounce off that guy. You can't lock him down with the shield either. But man, that thing is so satisfying. It was so well done in this game. I have to give them credit. Like they showcased it and they made it just absolutely feel incredible.
And that upped the movement of this game too. Like if they didn't have the shield movement to where you could charge and go across the map like that, it would have felt like a slog to me. I think it would have felt a lot slower. But having the ability to, because one thing that I think they did that was brilliant in this game is you are incentivized to face first attack everything. When you get low on health, you got to go kill stuff because they drop orbs. They drop health. So you go see a pack of little low level ads. You got to just shield charge over there. Boom. Maybe you see a health pack, run through that, and go around. So having that ability, I think, helped so much and honestly is like a big part of the combat in this game. So I am so happy they did what they did with it, and it was nothing but joy every single time I smashed through everybody.
You brought up a really good point, Ryan, and one of the things that I like about this is that you have to play aggressive to survive.
Yeah.
And that was one of the differences for me from Doom Eternal, is that in Eternal, because you're so mobile, a lot of times you are kind of ducking behind cover and running to trying to catch your breath and stuff. And I started playing this game like that, and I was getting wrecked.
Yeah.
Because it was like, no, you've got to actually wade into the fight. I don't care if you got 2 health. you need to go into the fight.
I'm almost dead. Better go find a big mob. Like, who does that? Like, that's crazy.
Well, you do in Dark Ages.
Yeah.
And once I realized that, it was just like, oh, man. And it felt so good. This game does a phenomenal job of just keeping you in the action.
What are you going to hold on. What were you going to say, John?
Well, I was going to just say I agree with you. This something that Space Marine 2 did very well, I think, was like it captured that grim dark. Like, there is no retreat, man. You go forward, bro. Like, you are put on this planet to destroy. And if you're feeling a little weak, always charge, never bend. And I think this game did a fantastic job of that. And the shield was for sure the most engaging part of that. I think that the element that it added to the gameplay, where you could literally rush across half the level, sometimes it felt like, and just smash into hordes of enemies. I loved it. It was my favorite part of the game for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's talk. We're already being long-winded.
Oh my gosh, we are.
I know, man. It's so fun.
We've had a good day today, guys.
Games, man. I know, man. So they showed this off. This is not spoilery at all. In the previews, we got the Atlan is what they call it, where you were in the absolute gigantic mech. Man, if you've ever had the dream of just piloting a 100-foot tall kaiju killing type thing, man, like this is it. I will say, while this was super cool to me, it also was like probably the least fun part of the game.
Agreed.
Like there's like the guy testosterone, like, yeah, where you're just punching these monstrous demons. But the gameplay elements are so simple. I kind of just went like, okay, well, this is whatever. Like, it was fun for like 10 minutes and that's it.
Yeah. It was definitely, it almost felt like you were scripted to use that character. You run through, you throw a few punches, kill the guy, blah, blah, blah. It's over. You move on. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Like, the moment you get in, you're like, oh, look at me go. And you're this big, monstrous, like, robot. But after a few guys, then it just kind of, all right, how do I get past this? So I agree. It was really neat, and it's a cool feature. And I liked seeing it when I'm actually the Doomslayer and I see them fighting off to the side was really cool, and it was neat. As far as the surrounding goes, but overall it was kind of forgettable as far as like a part of the game.
Yeah, and I don't understand the necessity. Like, I also, when I first booted it up, I was like, this is cool, it adds some scale to the game, but I don't know why they dumbed the combat down so much. Like, it went from this very like kinetic, engaged, frantic combat when you're the Slayer, to like, now I have like 2 buttons to push.
Slow and lumbering.
Yeah. But I don't know. It just seemed like unnecessarily simplified for some reason. I felt like you could change the combat and slow it down to add some scale, but not necessarily like why does dodging have to be a different button now? And like now, I went from like 10 different options to how I kill a guy to now it's literally just right trigger, right trigger, right trigger, right bumper, right trigger, right trigger, right trigger, right bumper. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a neat visual thing. It was a neat, like, it just didn't really, like I said, the gameplay element of that for whatever reason was just probably the lowest point in the game for me. Now the dragon, on the other hand, I gotta say, Surat, which is the name of the dragon, is my boy, dude. I do you guys like talk out loud sometimes when you're playing games?
Always. Always.
Yeah. Dude, when you get the dragon for the first time, you're getting him because the whole level is like, hey, you're heading to like the dragon aviary kind of thing. It's coming. Dude, this dragon lands and I just walk up to him and I'm looking, he's clad in armor. He's got a red glowing eye. He's got scars on him. He's freaking like dragon drool from these massive teeth. And I literally just laughed out loud and I went, this is the most metal game I have ever seen, dude. Like, legitimately.
It is.
I mean, it was just a fun thing where I was just like, I don't know that you can get any more metal. Like, I mean, everything in this game, the guns, the dragon, your gauntlets, the shield, like, I mean, literally everything is just metal.
It is for sure. And the dragon, out of every piece of character design in the game was probably one of my favorite. It looked like it was like torn straight off of like a 1990s Megadeth cover or something.
Yes.
Super cool looking.
That's a good spot. So John, you played controller, right?
Yes.
So with the dragon, because I have a question for you. Like when you have to auto lock on
to like the turrets,
to the turrets and stuff like that, I ran into a big problem that we can get into if I'm not going to sound like an idiot if you didn't have the same problem. So did you have any issue with the dodge? Like, because for me, left trigger locked on. What was your dodge then?
So it's interesting because if you like actually look at the control schematic, it's incorrect in the game.
Yeah, it says left trigger for dodge and
exactly. It's incorrect. So you have to be shooting, so you have to hold right trigger.
Okay.
Then you also have to hold left trigger to engage assault mode.
Yes.
And then when you get shot at, you have to hit B and a direction to evade.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I went. So I spent, I'm not kidding, guys. I spent like 2 hours and I was going to just rage, destroy everything
Ryan
in the world.
was raging. I won't share the messages that I was getting from Ryan.
Because I'm like, why isn't this working? I don't get it. It worked before. Why is it not working now? I tried every like realm of like lightly pressing it and then like letting go and then pressing it again and doing everything I could to try to. I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to charge up my shot and dodge the green attack,
so shoot the little
and then so I could shoot the plasma cannon thing. I knew what I had to do, and I'm like, why isn't it working? So I will say, and then I kept looking, I kept pulling up the diagram. I'm like, it says L dodge, L attack mode. Like, why isn't this working? I remember
incorrect,
I hit up Greg, and he's like, I don't know, maybe do this. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it on the keyboard. And then I did it on the keyboard. First try, worked it, got through the whole thing in like 30 seconds. So I was pretty upset after that day, but yeah, so I very much love the dragon part, but I also am a little tilted at parts of it.
So this is the second, I don't know, would you guys consider South of Midnight a AAA title? Probably not, right?
That's
indie.
Okay, so this is the first AAA title, like Bethesda AAA title that I've played end-to-end cloud, and a lot of it mobile, like on my backbone. I kept running into issues on the dragon where I don't know if you guys remember, but there's like these little sandworm things in the dragon levels that like open up and you have to dodge the little green thing to shoot them or whatever. I ran into things multiple times, and I don't know if it's just a cloud glitch or whatever, where I would get to it and it wouldn't open. I wouldn't have the option to, and I was like, it literally broke the game a few times for me. Like I had to like figure out this janky thing where I went into the menu and pressed some buttons and came out of the menu and then locked onto it and finally it would open, but it wouldn't just open when I like went to it. So it sounds like it might've just been a weird like cloud related trigger or whatever.
Yeah, I had zero issue, and that's another thing is I had no bugs, no crashes, no issues. I mean, Doom Eternal and Doom the Dark Ages are well known for being like super optimized, and this continued on with Doom the Dark Ages.
Your little keypad thing.
All right, guys, we're running long here. Dragon levels to me were one of my favorite. I love the mix that you're on the dragon, you're dogfighting, you're flying around, but then you have to land and then you hop off and you're back to just being, Doom guy running around, just destroying everything in your path at the same time. That variety of level was pretty cool to me. All right, here's the thing. I want to talk about, so what was your favorite part of the game and what was your least favorite part of the game?
For me, favorite part of the game was actually that first dragon level. I mean, like the first dragon level, I was like, oh, this is it, man. Now we're talking. It was just so cool. I love the dragon. And it's, I don't know. It's the first part of the game that really felt like not weighty, but it felt like important to me. I was like, now we're talking. This is like reminiscent of like the Warthog level in Halo 3 and stuff like this is a great gaming moment. My least favorite part of the game, for sure, without a doubt, was the terrible, forgettable character design, man. It felt all of the character design except for except for basically the dragon and maybe one or two of the enemies. Like there's the big fat ranged enemy that like he has the flamethrowers and that I thought was kind of cool, and maybe one or two of the others. But honestly, like the rest of them felt like ChatGPT generated, like Viking kind of good guy and devil kind of bad guy. I mean, they looked like terrible to me. It was.
You didn't like the Slayer?
No, not really. No.
Oh man, I thought he looked so cool.
Nah.
Yeah,
he looked like generic big green blobby guy.
So
with
you're
spikes.
talking the monster like variety as well. Like
I'm talking
the actual
everything,
design of everything.
All of the enemies, man.
I mean, I can kind of get that, man.
Especially the main enemy, that Prince
that
Axan or whatever.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Like Bethesda's huge. It's one of those things where I'm like, how did they not have one guy on the design team? One guy to just go, guys, we could do better than that, man. I mean, like, we could like literally copy and paste the devil from Legend, like that old Tom Cruise movie.
That's a throwback mention.
Yeah, well, right, but like, if you want something devil looking, that looks good. Just take that. Just literally copy and paste that couple changes. Like this looked terrible. I have no idea how this passed what I assume are many rounds of concept art and ended up in the final game.
I will say I probably agree with John on probably my least favorite thing is the art design on a lot of the enemies and the characters. I think the main enemy guy, he was just glazed over. He just they just made him red. And they're like, "Oh yeah, he's bad because he's red. Look at him, and he's got horns. He's going to get you." Don't look out, watch out, So I think there was not much there. It was a little half-baked as far as that goes, and I'm sure we'll hear something about that. But yeah, that part did not do it for me. I will say what I thoroughly enjoyed is man, just the base combat. Like just getting in there and when I got the chain shot, I never just chuckled so much in my life, just to myself, blowing up enemies to my own detriment, even if I was almost going to die, but I had a chance to just blow them up with this giant chain ball thing, I would do it. Like, because I just loved it so much. So that's probably my most favorite part of the game, is just the ability to laugh, enjoy that destruction, man. It was so good.
It's so satisfying. I'll say for me, the visceral just nature of the combat, the heaviness, the absolutely wrecking things, absolutely just does it for me, dude. I sit there like with this grin on my face, like fist pumping in the air, like just wrecking these demons. This is, to be fair, this is not a game. Like, I think my longest play session in this game was probably 2 hours. Like, it's not a game. It's not like Expedition 33 where I'm losing the world and 8 hours later, it's like, oh, what just happened? Because I've just gotten completely sucked in. I think this game is best consumed in little doses like that because it can get repetitive. It is just a gameplay focused game. The gameplay is insanely fun to me, but it's not super deep. This is not like changing the genre or anything like that. So it's like I can actually understand those kind of takes. The best part of this game was just how fun the combat is. You feel like you are just freaking Doomslayer, man, and you're ticked and you're taking it out on these demons and everything. And it's like, this is great. I will say that, this is not the most inspired Doom game to me. I think that title still belongs to Doom Eternal. I'm with you a little bit on the level design. I'm with you a little bit on the repetition. There were parts where I was kind of like, I think I'm just going to go play something else for a little while, So I don't have any like major complaints. Like usually there's something about a game where you're like, man, this just really put me off. In this case, I think it's just a few things that are subpar, that because some other aspects of the game are so good that you kind of notice them a little bit more is all. All right. I want us to rate the game, and then I want us to let's do that first, because I do have a question for you guys after that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you guys rate this?
This is like a solid 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Ryan?
So for me, I'm probably man, I thoroughly enjoy just the face tank and the crazy just laugh destruction nature of it. So I'm probably more like a low 8, so like an 8.3.
8.3. That's funny. You and I are very close. For me, if Doom Eternal is like a 9 to me, I think Doom Eternal is perfection for a single player first person shooter. Doom the Dark Ages for me is probably an 8.2, something like that. Like it's quite good. It's just not the best in the series kind of thing. But I mean, I'm having a blast with this game.
Oh yeah.
I get it for what it is. That's fine. But like even right now, like if I got 30 minutes to jump in and chain shot some demons and super shoddy them in the face, like that's just going to be a good time too. This is the big question. Now this game came out day one on Game Pass. We talked about
Game
it.
Pass,
Fantastic.
Game Pass.
I mean, I'll be honest, man. Game Pass is moving way up my board as far as favorite services
Best deal in
right
gaming,
now,
bro.
It used to be that I'd cancel it. I'd play a game and then I'd cancel it. I'm just leaving my subscription.
You gotta leave it up.
Right now.
You just gotta leave it up.
So, but here's the kicker: is Doom the Dark Ages? Because the price tag on Steam for this game is $70.
Yep.
Is Doom the Dark Ages worth $70?
No.
Okay, Ryan.
Yes. For me, yes.
This is tough for me because I checked my playtime. This game takes about 25 hours to beat on nightmare mode. Again, I die a lot because I'm playing on a hard difficulty level. So there are many times where I have to repeat a fight 7-8 times, which I'm sure adds to my gameplay. So let's call it a 20-hour game. If you know what you're getting into and you like Doom, then I think it's worth $70. Like legitimately, I think you are going to get $70 worth of entertainment out of this. If you have never played a Doom game before, or maybe this isn't your favorite genre, at that point, I don't know if it's worth $70, man. I don't know if that gamble of $70 is worth it to see if you like it at that point. I am with you, Ryan, that I think it is worth it. But it's like it's close. This is not like, oh yeah, it's worth $70.
It's not.
Man.
It's not okay. It's not like I felt super good after like, yo man, that was way worth the money. It's like I don't feel bad, paying that much for it type thing. So yeah, but I mean, shoot, if you can just get Game Pass.
Yeah, that's honestly the kicker.
Bro, for $25, you get Doom, you get Oblivion, you get Expedition 33. Best deal in gaming. Anybody who's listening, Xbox, if you're listening, we will happily accept your sponsorship.
We are not sponsored, but we will be.
So just for the last point on the $70 price tag is on Steam, where everybody that is playing it on Steam paid the $70. It's sitting at an 86% very positive review score out of 11,000 reviews on Steam right now. So people seem to be happy with it.
Yeah, it's a good game. I'm the lowest in my out of 10 ranking out of the three of us.
But really your kind of game though, either, John. Like
I loved Halo.
Had fun with it, but.
I loved Halo. I loved Rainbow Six. There's a lot of shooters that I really, really enjoy out there.
Those are more in depth, though. Doom is very simple in its premise. Like, honestly, it's
Rip
never
and
really
tear.
tried to be.
Rip and tear.
I mean, that kind of is the what it does, and it does very well. So, all right, listen. The takeaway here: get it on Game Pass, try it out. If Game Pass is not an option and you like Doom Eternal or Doom, the 2016 Doom, I think you're going to be happy with this game, even at the price tag, because there's really not any major flaws to it, in my opinion. So,
agreed.
That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is always so much fun to just chat games and talk about them, give our opinion on these things as well. If you're just joining us, this is a good reminder to remember to hit the follow button, the plus button, so you get all of our episodes the day that they release. Come join our community. We just hit 1,000 people today. Huzzah! And this is 1,000 awesome gamers, man. We say it all the time, but legitimately, there is nowhere else on planet Earth where you are going to interact with 1,000 dedicated gamers that are actually just there to have a good time, chat games, make recommendations, jump in and play together, that kind of thing. There is no toxicity. There is no, insulting people or any of that stuff for their gaming takes. Or
how many moderators do we have?
2, and they don't do nothing, man.
They don't do anything. They don't do
except for leave us 1-star reviews.
Yeah, friggin' Ace.
Love you, Ace. Love you, man.
Yeah, we do love you, Ace. But yeah, so come join that community. And again, if you've been listening to the show for a while, or hey, this episode just absolutely blew you away, think about supporting this podcast. There is a link in the episode description to do that as well. That's it for this one, everybody. Until next time, happy gaming.
Rip and tear. Yeah!
Toodaloo.